be for the outside of buildings. This is for a Fiverr client that just needs it for like some background buildings. So we're going to be making a building that has basically just a bunch of windows with some like cross frames, and I think we'll have the ability to choose the color of the glass, the thickness of the frames. It's going to have a bit of a wobble to it because that's a thing. It's called a... It's got a thing. I don't know. I'm going to pull up on Fiverr because that's where the... And then I'll need to make sure to we'll need to make sure to grab all of the different parameters I need to expose. Sorry, having a hard time using full sentences today. This happens sometimes. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't have, here, let me turn off. Basically, I'm doing window capture today, so you won't be able to see my whole screen. But this is what I'm basically making. So I'm going to need to control the difference between this size and that size. And I think that the way I'm going to do that is basically make one of these and then throw that into a tile sampler and have that tile. One on the other. So let's see. Never mind the other. I think if we basically did, I think we need a tile random. Because then we can control this, right? We don't want any random. We do want this. Oh, not that. Although we can probably use that. Never mind the other. Do you have fake parallax interiors? No, I don't for this. We did discuss that. But it's not what they need right now. They just want something a little bit more simple for now. Okay, so I don't think this is gonna work the way I want it to, because like I can do this and it kind of moves it up and down to create the difference between the windows, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. So I think actually what I want to do is have a shape. We'll offset it just so we can see the frame. Maybe 9.5. And then I think what we'll want to do is have, let's see. I think we'll want a second shape. And we'll offset that. Let's make sure this one's set to no tiling. Oh, there is no offset. We can do transform. So we can do this. And then we'll have this be the control of the bottom frame, which he's calling the spandrel, is going to be like the thinner pieces of glass between. And we'll have this subtract. Actually, we'll do this first. We'll do an edge detect. Invert that. No roundness. We'll say that. We'll do and then I think I can do this with that and do this set to max lighten, and that's that good. Okay, so now I think if we up the edge width here, we can kind of match the outside frame. Yeah, okay. And then if we expose this parameter here, this will be the control of the spandrel width, or the window width. And then I think we do want to then finally multiply it by this so that we keep the same framing on the outside around the bottom. Heck yeah. Well, I'm excited about that. That was easier than I thought it might be. Let's expose this now. Actually, let's make the parameter first, because we're not gonna, it's gonna want a float 2, but we're gonna give it a float 1 and just have a set value for the second float. So we'll do spandrel height. And then we'll go into here, go to empty function, get float, find our spandrel height, float that we'll have it set to 0, and then vector 2. I think that's X and that's Y. Oop. I need to actually look at another transform to make sure that default is set to zeros. Yeah, okay, good. And it has X, X, Y. And then let's make sure this default is set to not 1. Okay, so for now that's working correctly. And if we change the height, maybe we need to do a... No, that's good. But I think we want to limit it so it doesn't go to 0. Although, I think we'll have it go between what would be 0 and 0.5. Because there's no reason. Anything above 0.5 is basically doing the same thing but flipped. Hey, Joni. And so I think that we'll limit that just to keep it simple by doing a lerp, plugging this in as the grab 2 floats, and then we'll have it go between 0 and 0.5, I think. I think that's what we want. Not fond of the music choice today. Thus far. I'm gonna put, I'm being finicky, but I'm gonna put, I guess I'm gonna also make a notification on I'm gonna make a notification on my server real quick, sorry. That was intense coming off of that. Okay, so now that we've got that control figured out, we got some weird music today. Sorry. Thank you for letting me know. What I probably should do at some point is turn Spotify just all the way up and then control it somewhere else, because I can keep it consistent, or just know where I put it. It's fine. I didn't. No. I just didn't see. Okay. And then we'll take this. This is an intense song. Okay. We're going to take another tile generator, which will control the amount of this. I wonder if I could have done something like this too. Let's see, actually just changing this to square. Change this to 0.95. As long as it's not changing the You know what? Actually, I might just do that. Because it looks like it keeps consistent spacing better. See ya, Joni. The only problem is if you don't have a consistent so it looks like what I'll have to do if I want to keep the consistent spacing. Actually, maybe that's fine. I think I just always want to have one control for the amount of windows, and then just always keep Y amount be half of 10. But now my question is, if I set this to 20 and this to 10, okay, no, the spacing is not the same. So I think I'd need to change the interstice to be some relation of the number. It looks like it'll get... Okay, so how does 0.05 relate to the relationship of 20 and 10? And as I double that, so if I go to 40 and 20, I think it's going to be 0.025 to match it. 0.025. No, not quite. Maybe it's highly... Well, we're also dealing with pixel problems here. Pixel indifference. Hey, D-Stat. Welcome, dude. How's it going? The other thing I could do is have it so that there's only... So I could do it lines like this that'll control the grid, and then I could go and I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best way to set it up so that it's easily controlled. I can build the control. But I'm thinking if I do... Actually, let's do this. We'll take a shape. We can have this be the control of the facade. The whatever he called it. And do an edge detect, which will only give us those lines. Oops. Which is good. And we can control the thickness of the frame there. I like that. Let's set this to 2. And what I'm thinking now is this will be like our vertical frame, which we can control. And then we will take another tile generator and only have it control the up and down. want to do bilinear, yeah. And just make sure this is also set to bilinear for filtering. Oh, it's because it's a square. It's already set to that, I think. Yeah. Okay. And I think we can do up and down checkering, vertical checkering. Aha, there we go. Horizontal mask. So we'll have it be, these can be the same. So now I think we can control the facade shape by this. Yeah, and it looks like the framing keeps consistent. And we can also do like a we can do a words are so hard sometimes. We can do a switch to turn those off if we don't want them. But we'll keep it so they can go between like 0.1 and 0.4. Well, 0.1 looks like it's pretty close. I guess these. Excuse me. And then, so we'll have this be controlled. Let's do the same thing we did over here in this. Thank you. This time we'll have it go from 0.1 to 0.5 is fine. Oh, but I want this to be 1 this time, not 0. There we go. I was like, And then we'll have this control the frame thickness. We'll have it also be a lerp as well. So we saw that we were at like 12, and that was a good. Okay, 1's too thin. So maybe like 4. Yeah. Maybe 6. I just don't want it to get too small, so that it like phases out and breaks. And then we also want that to control. Oh, the other thing too is actually we want this to be inverted because we want the windows to be inset. And we also want this to control the spacing between. That means we're gonna have to find the relationship between 6 and 12 for that edge detect. Hypothetically, if we just set the frame thickness at 0 and we can match it, we can kind of do this a little bit if it's a linear relationship. So, nope, comment. So we can do, that is what it's set to at 0.96 when it's at 0 for the edge detect. If we do frame thickness to 1, match that, we're going to want to go back down to 0.9, I think. Yeah. So that can be our lerp values for the scale here, which will grab this setup here. So we want 0.96, 0.9. Nope, we didn't click on that. Okay, now let's see if this works correctly. It's like not perfect, but I think it'll work. Okay, I think that works for me. And then I think we'll have this be we'll change that naming later, I think, but let's have it go to like 32. And we don't want to go as low as 0. But so that'll allow us to basically control the width of the windows. And then this can control how many say 8. I'll change this one as well for the minimum amount. There's some really long windows. That'll at least let you control like the relationship between the amounts. And then I think the other thing we want to do, maybe, not that much. No, not that much. Just to give it a little bit of a lip. I think, yeah, if we just put this back, that's not too much of a change. Maybe 0.002. Sure. It'll just read better in the normal. Okay. So there's something called a Musgrave Intensity. This is something that's I've never heard of this noise, but I guess it's just basically like a Perlin noise or a Gaussian noise. That it's some kind of a procedural noise that you can apply. I don't actually think it's anything in here now, but I know it's in Blender, which is where my client learned the term and said they wanted that applied to their windows, which is fine. Basically what we're going to do though is it's going to be kind of like a bit of a warbling to the glass, because when you look at, like right now the reflection is purely flat, but there's going to be some bowing to the glass just because of the amount of weight and how much is going on. Before that, they wanted the ability to control the spandrel, the thinner bits. I guess I could do that actually. That's not terrible. We just take this same exact generator and replace it with this, and then multiply it by, oops, that, and then that's our mask for our spandrels specifically. I can't remember how it's spelled now. Spandrel. And then I think the same thing, if we want to have a mask for just our windows, we'll take that and we'll subtract our I think we'll want to subtract that as well as this frame, right? So we'll do it twice. Do another blend, I mean. Take that input, take that input, and subtract that. And let's see if these should be different, right? Yeah, there's a little bit. Because otherwise we'd have that. Okay. And then we'll do window mask. So if we want to use this for colors later on, that's going to be good. Let's back everything off here just to give us some space to work. Okay. And then we also want the framing mask, which is this inverted basically, right? So that's actually not difficult. Which is technically what we have here, so could just keep that, but this is fine. Keep them separate. Frame mask, just to keep it clean, the graph clean. I'm trying to be better about cleaning as I go. Otherwise you get these crazy spaghetti graphs that get really unruly very quickly. Okay, so now we're gonna want to do I'm gonna try using this as well. Basically use a material blend and you turn off what you don't need to use. Hold on, is there another material blend that's like cheaper? Interesting. I thought there was one where you can turn off certain things. Oh, there it is. So we don't want diffuse. We do want base. We don't need normal. Don't need spec. No emissive. No gloss. Roughness, yes. Metal, yes. No, no. Okay, that's better. So basically what this is going to do, and we're going to do two of these, because we're going to have one for, this is like a way to control everything nicely. And then it combines it all. So if we take a second one of these, and say we use, because it's going to use a mask. So basically we're going to have, how do I want to do this? let's do the frame color and stuff. So we'll do uniform color for the frame. We'll do a, for the color, you do this for the roughness, and then this for the metalness. And just so it works, we can test it. We want it to be a metal, a red metal that is 50% rough. And then we'll plug our, we'll say window mask into here. So this should be, this should be now the window color. So we'll say this is a frame. And then we'll have another I also have these backwards. Roughness, metal, roughness, metal. And then if I do that, so you can see the windows now is controlled by this color here. And then we'll plug this into the base color 1, roughness 1, metalness 1. And then we'll use the spandrel mask. So we don't actually need the frame mask in this case, using it this way. Okay, and then we'll do a sick. So this is something that I didn't do on, like, for example, I had like this like big window material that I did, and that was a nightmare to organize using the masks everywhere, when it would have made more sense to basically use one mask into a material blend and then plug all the inputs here. Instead, I basically did this like 3 times or 4 times depending on having the, using the mask to generate the normal, to generate the color, the metalness, the roughness, and I think the height and some other stuff. This is something I should have done in that instance because it would have kept things a lot cleaner. So now let's set up like a good Oh, I was so confused as to what happened there, but I know why it happened. It's because there we go. I was like, it did look weird when I plugged that in, but it's because it converted this to a grayscale because I needed to plug exactly into here instead of having a normal map before that, which takes the grayscale and makes it a normal. Okay, so that's good. Let's control the window. Make it just some kind of this. Let's also lower the roughness of both of these to 0. I wonder if I do want this to be... Oh yeah, definitely. Windows are always kind of that funny thing. I think. Like, you're not supposed to break the rules of going in between 0 and 1. For roughness. Or sorry, for metalness. But I feel like it just looks really nice when you do. Because it tints the reflection a little bit to the color of the window. Okay, anyway, so we got that. Let's go ahead and delete that. Yeah. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? It is pretty quick once it's done. We need to add some isolation. Lost it long ago. I go down low. Lost it long ago. Na 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 na. Nah, I don't like that. The only thing I might think about is it looks like in the reference I have here, the cross frames are actually in front of the upper frames. So I might actually intentionally build the normal a little different. So that would mean having this be like that. No, the other way. So it'd be taking a levels node here and raising the max brightness, max darkness, so that you can push it back a little bit. But then that fixes that. But now oh, but then the bevel does something funny. That's not where I want to do that. We won't do a normal there. But I think we do want to do, or maybe we just need to move the bevel where the bevel's happening and have it do it to the vertical and the horizontal framing separately. So for example, we'll duplicate this, doing that. And we do want to invert that. So that'll be that. So now that's that. And then we'll have a blend with the max lighten with the vertical in the top so we can control the opacity of that, which means it'll be turned down a little. We'll say 0.5. And then that's what we want to use for our, we're going to delete this. Yes. Now let's set it up first. So that'll be that. And then we'll want that. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's the thing too, isn't it? Damn. Okay, we're gonna have just separate controls for vertical and horizontal frame thickness, because I don't think it's gonna be easy to dial in the look I want, and maybe it'll actually add more control anyway. anyway. So vector float 2, float, lerp, get float, vertical frame thickness will go into the lerp. That will be our max. This will be our min. And actually, we're going to want those reversed because this is our max is going to be no frame whatsoever, which we don't want. So we want 0.9. 0.9 to 0.5. You're a produce girl. And then actually I need to make another variable for frame thickness, horizontal frame thickness. And I don't know, we'll just like make this crazy maybe, I don't know. Maybe not that crazy. 16 is fine. So that way, if we want to, we can make that really thin. And it means we can also adjust it if there's ever a reason why we don't have a square amount. Like there, it made a weird thing happen. I can do the thickness higher there. It's the less like smart, more brute force version, but I think like I said, in the end, it actually allows more control because if there's some reason they don't want those to be the same frame thickness, then they can, which is great. Let's do 10 and 8. Okay, so that's a good amount of the things I needed to do. Let me just double check. Basically, we needed to do glass width and height, which I think we're controlling by the amounts. Good. Color is going to be a parameter. Spandrel width and height will be tied to, we've got spandrel height, and then the width will be tied with the glass. The frame thickness is good, and the frame color is good. So we just need to expose these parameters here, but I'm not going to yet, just in case we want to change things. The last thing I need to do is take, I'm going to blend the spandrel and the window mask into one. Like this. And then we're going to use a flood fill. And then we're going to use a flood fill to random grayscale, which will give a bunch of just random colors. Perfect. Then we're going to use a directional warp with this as the input, and we're going to get a purlin noise, we'll say. Lower that well down. Plug that off, and then we're going to, I don't know, put 500 in there. And then so you can see that there's a bit of like a warping. I'm trying to figure out what a good, maybe the scale should be tied to the the values of this. So 8 and 10. What if I added them together and I averaged them and use that as the scale of the purlin? So if I get float, double it, I get horizontal frame not thickness. Oh, it's an integer. Window X, window Y, add, oops, divide by integer. I keep on rolling around. That was like a specific thing they called out because that's really what you get. Like when you have like a window, you know, like a big building, it's gonna have a lot of weight on those windows, even though like things settle, right? And they bow just a little bit. So yeah, it's a good detail. They called it out though. I won't take credit for it, but it totally makes sense. They saw it in another video because they were looking up like how this might be possible. I'm gonna multiply by 2 maybe. Maybe I won't even. Maybe let's see what happens here if I just do. Multiply. This is real janky, but just because I wanted to do a partial value. Obviously, it's just going to round up to the closest. It's going to round to the closest integer, but yeah, that's nice. There's definitely a bit of a wave there. And they wanted Musgrave Intensity, so I can control that now with I'm going to do this differently, actually. I'm going to get rid of this levels, and I'm going to have this be max lighten with a frame of that. So that basically, or maybe not even max lighten, but a copy. So that'll be the, like the most intense. We don't want that intensity. So this would be our Musgrave Intensity. And then I can actually add looks like a laminated paper or something. And then I think I do want to have like a add. I think I do want like a Musgrave scale. Which will just be an add between like, I don't know. Actually, we can do this. We can do it as a float between 0 and 1 and use a lerp for that. Musgrave. I'll do a lerp with a get float of actually I don't want floats, I want integers. Okay, no, we'll do fine. We'll do floats. I don't wanna. And then we'll do a 2 integer as well here. So we can go between like, I don't know, point or minus 10 and 10, I guess. I joined you back in December. All of that backache, middle of it all. Give it up for me, give it up, give it up. Maybe they would want something that's like a really high scale with a low intensity or something like that. So that's good. Let's start kind of organizing the parameters a bit more. I want to be free. window color, we'll do windows as the group, I guess. And then we'll do window roughness, windows roughness. Oh, window. Cool. Okay, so actually let's change a couple things here. We're gonna go to the roughness and make this into a slider instead of a whole thing, as well as the metalness here. Just keeps things a little smaller instead of having it be a color. You'll see here. So just instead of having 3 of these, we'll have these be a little thinner. And then we'll add copy that. I think we'll want the generation above that. And then we'll also add the spandrels, maybe to their own group, I guess, just to keep things separate. I don't know. We'll work on that. And then actually, let's also go into here and apply this as the default so that we're seeing the right things. Okay, good. You know what? Actually, let's make this windows as well and just put it at the bottom. That was weird. Changing my mind again. Cool. Is that how you spell architecture? Architecture. Sure. Hard to think about anything but to be. And then we'll make sure these are all set to clamped. I don't have to do that really, but Helps things stay clean. And then we'll throw the framing stuff in its own as well. Natalie's voice is very distinct. She sings in in Pamplemousse as well, in a very distinct voice. Shoecraft is my friends. Very blonde. This is how I take my coffee. I don't know how well that actually shows it off, but I don't like want to tip it too much, but it's very. There it worked. And that won't make any sense to anybody listening to the VOD because they can't hear the song. But they can see the song somewhere around here. Where do you take your coffee, baby? Metalness, framing metalness. Window frame. Hey Shikama. What's up? So many cat jams. How's it going, dude? Okay, so we got framing, color, roughness, metalness. Let's throw the horizontal and vertical frame thickness in there. Let's fix. Had this one. This one had an odd capital. Not that one. There you go. Nice, dude. For your Roblox stuff or anything? I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Shikama, you can feel free to share that in the Discord if you want. That is up to you. I was meaning you can I see it. Thank you for sending it to me. I was meaning more on my Discord server if you want to, but that looks pretty sweet. Working on like a hazmat suit kind of thing. I mean, yeah, DM's fine as well, but I was meaning like if you wanted to share with more people. I don't have my stream set up to share my screen very well right now, so that's looking cool. Oh, you're just walking around. I think I want scaled and intensity to be above color. Oh, let me look. You should have permission. Depends on where you're trying to post it, I guess. Oh, you know what? You never followed the rules. You gotta go get your literacy badge, bro. You gotta go read the rules, and then you'll get a role, and then you'll be able to post things. You see it, Shikama? I don't know, man. You don't have the role, so I didn't take it away from anybody. I did add the literacy badge stuff in later, so it's possible that that whole like react to get the roles thing wasn't in effect when you first joined. And I also did make an announcement, but sorry if you've already done it. Just I think you should just have to like the role again, react to the role again, and you'll get the I do see you. Here, there you go. You have the role. I don't know what happened. You should be able to post it now if you want. Nice. And you can post it in the what are you working on? The way woe in the art category. I saw you are testing, you are a human. Very good, very good. This is successful. Yeah. What are you working on? I don't know how common of a acronym it is, but I have heard it a few different times, so I adopted it. Okay, I think this is done, honestly, as a first pass. I don't know what else I could do to it. I think I've tackled their I could add like some roughness variation, I guess, just to get it a little bit more interesting. Otherwise, it's pretty flat, which is fine. It's a background thing, but I just feel like it's missing some life. And they did talk about like eventually wanting like blinds and stuff like that over the windows on the inside, which you could control like kind of a random like. Basically, I would take this. I would make a generator that would do like shapes of different sizes down, and then I would use this as the mask, and then I would subtract so that it like only affects a certain small amount of them. So let's do this. Let's take the roughness. We'll add a moisture noise. Or maybe overlay. Oh wait, no, that's not the roughness. And an overlay won't work if it's black. I think adding some subtle roughness variation, that's not subtle. Let's do this. Let's do 0.1, and we'll have to offset it by the same. Okay. Now that that's wrapped up, stream for about an hour and a half. That's not bad. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited about what I made today. I think I'm gonna actually do a kind of a short stream today and wrap things up. Appreciate giving me the opportunity to get some work done that I needed to get done. So, gonna get this submitted over to the client and all that stuff, and wrap whatever else I need up for like organizational file stuff. But I think this is the brunt of it. I'm happy it was a pretty quick process. I think it's always fun to kind of just try some different stuff and like kind of I don't know, like concept how I want to tackle it, you know. So yeah, Shakam, I'm gonna wrap up a little bit early today. Sorry. But it's a 4-day weekend, so tomorrow's not my last day of the weekend. So if I have some time and a project to work on, I might stream tomorrow as well. We'll see. But yeah, I think for now